is the Schmo with the Pro. He's 21-3. He's the number 5 ranked UFC welterweight in the world. Remember the name Belal Muhammad in the flesh, San Diego, California. How we doing?
Nice, man. Here supporting my boy GM3, and San Diego weather is amazing.
That's right, man. GM3, always durable, always game, right there, making weight, no problem in the middleweight division. What do you expect with his matchup?
Honestly, it's going to be a great fight. You know, this is his first time doing his full camp at Sanford MMA, so he's got down there with new training partners. So I think we're going to see a new, even more durable, better GM3.
And he's fighting Bruno Silva, always exciting.
Yeah, you know, Bruno Silva, you know, he had a war with Alex Pereira, and a guy that always comes to fight, a guy that he never gives up. He finishes guys in the third round. We've seen it against Andrew Sanchez. We've seen it against other guys where he always comes to fight. But I think he's running into the wrong guy this time. GM3, he's motivated. Like I said, did his whole camp, left his new son at home, left his wife at home, and then just nothing but dedicated to the game for this fight.
And let's get back to you, my man. You got a big fight coming up in Abu Dhabi, UFC 280, October 22nd, against Sean Brady, an undefeated, up-and-coming welterweight. Not the ideal matchup that you wanted, but a name that you couldn't say no to.
Yeah, of course. I'm a guy that wants to stay active. I want to stay busy. I'm not a guy that wants to sit on the sidelines. And now he's in the top 10 ranking. So this will be my 5th top 10 opponent that I'm fighting. And I don't see any other guy in the welterweight division fighting the level of competition that I am.
What do you think he does best? What's impressed you, if anything, when you study the game film on Sean Brady?
Honestly, to me, he's just like a regular fighter. I could go to any bar, look for a juice head, swole guy out there, tell him, yo, you want to go train, and that's my Sean Brady right there. I don't think there's anything different that he brings to the game. I think that I'm better at all levels, and I'm going to prove it on October 22nd. Do
you think you have to win in a certain way to be next in line for a title shot?
Yeah, I got to go out there. I got to put on a performance. I got to finish him. I got to, you know, he asked for this fight. He was talking all this trash. So now I'm going to tell him, I'm going to have to show him that be careful what you wish for. So I'm going to go out there. I'm going to put the hands on him. I'm going to break him.
And the Schmo knows you want Khamzat Chimaev. You called this guy out, but he's got a dance partner in Nate Diaz, September 10th. Do you think it's enough if he gets his hand raised, he gets the title shot next, Khamzat Chimaev?
You know, obviously the UFC wants to push him. They're trying to build him up because he's this, you know, monster, undefeated Russian guy. But like I said, I don't think that he's fought the guys that I fought, and I think that he was doing all that tough talk on Twitter, but I don't think that he wanted to fight me. I know that I'm the toughest guy in the division, and the UFC was like, you know what? Let's give him a Nate Diaz instead of a Belal Muhammad. You know, we want to build this guy up a little bit more. We saw how tough it was for him to fight a guy in Gilbert Burns, and you know, Gilbert Burns almost broke. And if Gilbert Burns almost breaks you, I'm definitely gonna break you.
Leon Edwards, he's got the title fight against Kamaru Usman in the rematch, Salt Lake City, next week, UFC pay-per-view. You faced the man. It was a no contest. We didn't get to see the rematch between the two. What's the key to victory for Leon Edwards?
For him, he just has to, you know, use his distance, use his length, stay on the outside. Obviously, I think it could go a lot like the first fight where Kamaru controlled him on the ground, wrestled him a lot. I felt Leon in the cage, and like in the grappling scenarios, he didn't feel strong at all. So he's talking this big game like, you know, I've grown, I've gotten a lot better, but I just still think that Kamaru's levels ahead of them in the grappling department. But obviously in the striking department, if Kamaru goes in there, he's coming off of some big knockouts. If he goes in there thinking that he's a striking artist now and he tries to strike with Leon, it could be an even fight. But if I'm Kamaru, I'm pulling the smart route. I'm wrestling him, taking him down, controlling the fight, winning easily.
If Kamaru gets his hand raised, is this the last time we see him for the foreseeable future at welterweight and he goes up and challenges for the 205-pound strap?
That doesn't really make sense to me at all. Like I said, there's a lot of hungry contenders at 170 that he hasn't fought yet. He hasn't fought me. He hasn't fought Chimaev. You got Geoff Neal here who just won. So there's a lot of hungry guys that are on the come up that he hasn't fought. He's just fighting all these rematches. So maybe he's getting bored with the rematches. So let's give him a new blood.
And the last time you lost inside the octagon, it was against Hands of Steel, Geoff Neal. How impressed were you of his performance when we just saw him in the octagon?
Honestly, it was a great performance. It was an amazing fight from both fighters. Like the first round, the way that Luque came back. Second round, Luque looked very good. And then you're thinking that, all right, well, Geoff Neal's going to start fading. And then Geoff Neal came back in the third round a lot harder. And he showed that he trained really hard for this fight. He's one of those guys where you could just tell that, all right, he didn't train really hard for this fight. You lose to a guy like Magny, and you're like, all right, well, he's not the Geoff Neal we thought. But then you look at him this fight, you're like, all right, well, this is the Geoff Neal that they're always talking about. This is Geoff Neal that Safe Saud says that can be a champion. So it was cool to see, like, in a former opponent, former foe win. Because obviously if you lose to a guy, you want that guy to keep winning. So for me now, it's like, all right, well, now he's in the top 10. So now add that another top 10 guy that I fought in the UFC, add it to my resume. And, he talked a little bit trash after the fight. So, yeah, for sure, I would definitely want to get that one back as well.
Well, what do you think's next for a guy like Gilbert Burns? He's called out a guy like Jorge Masvidal, Colby Covington, radio silent. Maybe Geoff Neal makes sense after beating best friend Vicente Luque.
Yeah, honestly, that makes a lot of sense. If you're Gilbert, like I said, it was one of those two where I was looking for it, but you're looking for the big money fight in Masvidal. Obviously, Masvidal is chirping back and forth with him a little bit, so you're assuming that he wants to fight. But when these guys like Masvidal and McGregor and them, they tweet out stuff, I don't think they really want to fight. I think they're just doing it just to get more attention. I think that he's still in court and doing stuff like that. I don't think he's probably going to fight this year or maybe middle of next year, but I think he's just doing it just to stay in the public eye. I don't think he's really trying to fight right now. So if I'm Gilbert and I want to stay active, Geoff Neal makes a lot of sense. He's the only one that's available at this point. And like you said, he just beat his boy. So I think Gilbert probably will take that fight. He doesn't seem like a guy that wants to sit on the sidelines and just wait and hope that Masvidal accepts it, because Masvidal is, if he gets the McGregor fight, he's going to take that fight over Gilbert Burns either way. Gilbert Burns is a tough fight than McGregor, so why would you want to fight the tougher guy in Gilbert? So it's one of those, you're stuck in a little pickle.
Last weekend, our 5-on-5 basketball teammate, Sweet Dreams Jamahal Hill, he got the knockout over Thiago Santos. What do you think's next for him? Do you think a title shot is next, or maybe it's Jan Blachowicz for a #1 contender spot?
Man, he looked amazing. Honestly, I've been calling it for a while. I knew that kid was a killer, and like I said, I think he deserves a title shot. There's a lot of people that are hating on him and saying this, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Thiago Santos was on a 4-fight losing streak, but none of those guys beat him the way Jamahal beat him. John Jones couldn't finish Thiago Santos. Thiago Santos finished Jan Blachowicz, so Jamahal Hill finished him in the 4th round. He showed his toughness. He showed that, all right, I could wrestle too. If I get taken down, I could pop right back up. He showed a lot that fight, and a lot of people, their eyes need to be open now. And I feel like this guy could definitely be a champion. He's still young. He got a personality. UFC needs to start pushing him more, because the dude's hilarious. If you don't follow him on Instagram, follow him on Instagram. But like, he has all the tools to be the champion. I think that it's either the title shot. Obviously, I feel like Glover deserves a rematch if that one ends up happening. So if that one ends up happening, I know Jamahal is calling out Jan, so that one makes a lot of sense too. So I see him tweeted out something like people were telling him, oh, you need to fight Anthony Smith or one of the other guys. I don't think one of those other guys makes sense. It's either Jan for the #1 contender spot or the title shot.
Give the Schmo the skinny. Is your good buddy Paul Felder coming out of retirement to return to the octagon?
Every time I see him, he's still scratching. He's looking at me like, man, I need a little bit more of those fights, bro. Like, how does it feel to be in that cage? He's still got the itch. I know he has the itch. If the UFC calls him with a name, I don't see him turning it down. So Dana hit his line. The Irish Dragon still got a lot of fight in him.
He's skinny now. Maybe 145 instead of 155?
I tweeted out 135. I think Paul Felder, if he's cutting the weight the way he used to cut weight, he'll literally walk into the room at 205 pounds and make 55. This guy can make 135 right now if he really tried.
As if the bantamweight division wasn't loaded enough. Can we get a final message for all the Bully B fans out there worldwide?
Hey, just want to give all you guys a shout out. Thank you guys for the ones that support me, the ones that doubt me, the ones that hate on me. Keep hating on me. Keep sending me messages. I love it. It does nothing but fuel me, guys. I'm going to be the champion at the end of next year.
Remember the name. He's the pro. I'm the Schmo. Beautiful San Diego. We going to go for a dip?
I'm looking at it. I see a couple dead bodies floating around, but maybe we'll go out there and go in the water.
This isn't Lake Mead. We're out.